It was a Wednesday wrapped in a soft mist, the kind of day that drifts by quietly, unnoticed and without fuss. My boots squished noisily through shallow puddles, clearly a poor choice for the damp weather. A mutual friend had arranged for us to grab lunch together at a bustling diner, where the mix of cheerful voices and clinking dishes created a cozy sort of chaos. He wasn't the loudest at the table, not the one steering the conversation, but his laugh, raw and unfiltered, caught my attention more than anything else. His name was Liam. He didn't try to impress with rehearsed lines or carefully curated charm. What drew me in was how present he was, truly listening as I spoke, not with empty nods, but with genuine, thoughtful interest. He even remembered the name of my dog. A few days later, he sent me a photo of a beagle-shaped keychain, along with a short message, "This reminded me of you." It was a small, sweet gesture, and it made me smile. Still, I brushed it off. Not because I wasn't interested. I was, deeply, but something in me felt undeserving of what I was beginning to feel. I had just stepped away from a relationship that began in a whirlwind and fizzled into something dull and exhausting. There had been no dramatic ending, just a slow, steady drain of energy and emotion that left me wary and self-protective. So when Liam showed up in my life, steady, genuine, and without a trace of performance, I stumbled. I wasn't used to my heart being treated so gently. But he never pushed. He stayed. Quiet gestures showed he cared. A message asking how my day had been, a song he thought I'd like. No grand declarations, no theatrics. Just honesty. Eventually, I said yes to dinner. We chose a cozy little bistro tucked into the heart of the city. The scent of herbs lingered in the air, blending with bursts of laughter from nearby tables. He held the door for me, pulled out my chair, kept his phone tucked away. Everything felt so easy, too easy, and that unsettled me. I was more familiar with love that felt like constant work, reading between the lines, patching things up, guessing where I stood. With Liam, there was no guessing, just peace, and I didn't quite know what to do with that. We kept seeing each other. Nothing planned or rigid, just simple, natural moments that unfolded on their own. But still, I kept a part of myself closed off. Each time he inched closer, I'd step back, joke my way around intimacy, steer the conversation elsewhere, hide pieces of myself. He noticed, of course. One evening, as we strolled home after dinner, he paused, turned to face me, and looked straight into my eyes. His voice was quiet, steady. "You don't have to protect yourself with me," he said. "I'm not here to hurt you." I managed a weak smile and stayed silent. Deep down, I couldn't bring myself to believe that someone who said something so kind would actually mean it, and more importantly, stay true to it. Then came the night I truly pushed him away. He had chosen a beautiful rooftop spot for us, strung with soft lights that sparkled like stars. The low hum of music drifted through the evening air, and a cool breeze swept around us. He asked about my week, and as I spoke about work, he listened like my every word was something worth holding on to, as if I were telling him a story he never wanted to end. Then came a quiet pause, the kind that invites honesty. He leaned in, eyes steady and full of meaning, and said, "I care about you. A lot." A sudden rush of anxiety swelled inside me. I looked away quickly, let out a nervous laugh, and reached for my wine, though I didn't really want it. I forced the words out. "You're wonderful, Liam, but I'm not ready for this." I tried to cushion the blow with a soft smile, but I could see it strike him all the same. His eyes lost their spark, and his posture stiffened, as if bracing against a cold wind. He gave a small nod, lips curving into a smile that tried to hide the ache beneath. Then he signaled for the bill. There was no anger, no pleading, just quiet acceptance, a sort of grace I wasn't prepared for. He paid the check, then looked at me one last time. "Take care of yourself," he said gently. And then he turned and walked away. I stayed at that table, eyes fixed on the empty chair across from me, telling myself I'd done the right thing. I wasn't ready. He deserved someone who could meet him fully, not someone still limping through the shadows of a past heartbreak. But the more I repeated that thought, the more I realized, it wasn't him I doubted. It was me. He had seen corners of my soul I'd kept hidden from everyone else. He stood by a version of me I hadn't even come to terms with. And instead of letting him in, I quietly closed the door. I told myself I was protecting him, but the truth was, I was protecting myself from being truly known, from accepting a kind of love I didn't believe I had earned. Later that night, I checked my phone. Nothing. No messages. I scrolled through our past conversations, memes that made me laugh, warm goodnight texts, little notes that felt like soft touches across distance. They carried so much care. The next morning came, and still, there was no sign of him. He hadn't blocked me. He was just gone. Quietly. Cleanly. I thought about reaching out. Just to say something, anything. But what would I say? That I didn't mean what I said? Because at that moment I did. I truly believed I wasn't ready. And maybe I still wasn't. But here's the truth no one tells you. Readiness isn't something that arrives like a package on your doorstep. It's a choice. It's a moment where you decide to try, despite the fear. And I hadn't made that choice. For him. Days turned into weeks. Then months. I dated other people. Some made me laugh. Some made my heart race. But none gave me the sense of peace Liam did. And I came to understand that peace, real safety, isn't dull. It's rare. It's sacred. One afternoon, while picking up groceries at a place we used to visit, I caught a glimpse of him across the street. He was holding someone else's hand. She looked up at him with such warmth, the kind I'd never been able to fully offer. And he looked happy, lighter, freer than I'd ever seen him. That's when it truly hit me. He hadn't waited. He had moved on. He'd found someone who welcomed love when it came, instead of flinching from it. I never reached out. Not because I didn't want to, but because I saw clearly. He'd found someone who saw his worth right away. Who didn't need time to weigh it, question it, fear it. Sometimes we don't lose people because they stop loving us. We lose them because they finally realize we'll never choose them the way they chose us. And maybe that's the deepest heartbreak, not that they left, but that we gave them every reason to. So, if you ever sit across from someone who sees you, truly sees you, and your first instinct is to step back because it feels too calm, too steady, too right, pause. Don't let fear drive your heart, because saying, "I'm not ready," often means, "I'm scared." And calling someone incredible can quietly become your way of saying goodbye. I told Liam he was incredible. I told him I wasn't ready. He gave me a gentle smile, paid the bill, and walked away.